Have you ever found yourself saying yes when every part of you wanted to say no? Have you ever agreed to something not because you wanted to, but because you were afraid of disappointing someone? If so, you're not alone. Saying no is one of the most powerful skills a person can develop. It is a skill that separates the weak from the strong, the distracted from the focused, and the overburdened from the free. Yet for many people, it feels impossible. Why we struggle to say no. From childhood, we are taught that saying yes is polite, that agreeing makes us likable, and that rejecting requests is rude. But this belief is a trap. It keeps us stuck in situations that drain our energy, steal our time, and prevent us from living our best lives. Many people fear saying no because they want to be liked. They worry that rejecting someone will make them seem rude or uncaring, feel guilty. They think saying no means they are selfish, fear missing out. They believe that every opportunity must be taken, even when it's not the right one. Lack of confidence, they doubt their right to set boundaries. But here's the truth. Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you wise. The hidden cost of saying yes to everything. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are saying no to something else. You are sacrificing your time, your energy, and sometimes even your happiness. Imagine a man named Marcus. He is hardworking and kind, but he cannot say no. His boss asks him to stay late, and he says yes. His friends invite him to a party he doesn't enjoy, and he says yes. His family asks for favors he doesn't have time for, and again, he says yes. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and Marcus feels exhausted. His dreams remain unfulfilled because he spent his life fulfilling the dreams of others. Does this sound familiar? If we are not careful, we can become like Marcus, so busy pleasing others that we forget to please ourselves. But there is a way out. The power of saying no. Saying no is an act of self-respect. It tells the world, I know my limits. I value my time. I control my life. Consider the great philosophers of history, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. They understood that to live wisely, one must be intentional with one's choices. They believed that a person who says yes to everything is a slave to the demands of others, but a person who knows when to say no is truly free. Think about that for a moment. True freedom begins with a single word, no. How to say no with confidence. Now I know what you're thinking, but saying no is hard. And you're right. At first, it feels uncomfortable. But like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Here are some simple ways to say no without guilt. Be direct. I appreciate the offer, but I can't commit to that right now. Be honest. I have too much on my plate at the moment, so I have to pass. Be polite, but firm. I'm honored that you thought of me, but I have to decline. Offer an alternative if you want to. I can't help today, but maybe next week. Use humor. If I say yes to one more thing, I'll need a clone. The key is to say it without apologizing and without feeling guilty. You have a right to protect your time and energy. When you say no, you say yes to something greater. Every time you say no to something unimportant, you are saying yes to something that truly matters. Say no to distractions. Say yes to focus. Say no to toxic relationships. Say yes to peace. Say no to unnecessary stress. Say yes to mental clarity. Say no to overcommitment. Say yes to rest and well-being. Your time is precious. Spend it wisely. The challenge for you. I want to challenge you today. Find one thing to say no to. Maybe it's an invitation you don't want to accept. Maybe it's a task that isn't your responsibility. Maybe it's a negative habit. Whatever it is, say no to it. Feel the strength in your voice. Feel the power in your choice. And then come back and share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear how it felt. Did it feel freeing? Did it feel difficult? Let's learn from each other. Saying no is not about rejecting people. It's about choosing yourself. And when you choose yourself, you create a life that is truly yours. The fear of disappointing others. One of the hardest parts of saying no is the fear of letting people down. We imagine their disappointment, their frustration, or even their anger. But here's a secret. Strong people respect those who set boundaries. Weak people try to take advantage of those who don't. Think about the people you admire the most. Are they the ones who say yes to everything, who allow themselves to be pulled in every direction? Or are they the ones who stand firm, who know their limits, and who choose their commitments wisely? When you say no, you may lose a few people. The ones who only valued you for what you could do for them might walk away.
But the ones who truly respect you, they will stay. And that's how you separate real relationships from one-sided ones. The yes trap. Saying yes to everything might seem like the right thing to do, but in reality, it's a trap. You say yes to a project at work that doesn't excite you. Now you're stuck doing something you hate. You say yes to helping someone move on your only free day. Now you're exhausted with no time to rest. You say yes to a toxic relationship. Now your mental health is suffering. Every unnecessary yes is a tiny no to yourself. And over time, those tiny no's add up, leading to burnout, frustration, and regret. But here's the good news. Every unnecessary no is a tiny yes to yourself. Say no to overwork. Say yes to peace of mind. Say no to social pressure. Say yes to being yourself. Say no to time wasters. Say yes to things that bring you joy. It's not about rejecting people. It's about reclaiming your time and energy. Saying no is an act of self-love. Imagine a person who gives away all their money to others and has nothing left for themselves. We'd call that foolish, right? But many of us do the same with our time, giving away our energy and attention to everyone else until we have nothing left. You can't pour from an empty cup. Saying no is how you fill your cup. It's how you make sure you have the strength, time, and energy to focus on what truly matters. You are not responsible for fixing everyone's problems. You are not required to say yes just because someone asks. You are allowed to prioritize yourself. And the best part? When you take care of yourself, you become even more valuable to others. A well-rested, focused, and happy person is far more helpful than a tired, overcommitted, and frustrated one. The freedom of the strong-willed. Throughout history, the wisest and most successful people were those who mastered the power of no. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote in his journal about resisting distractions and staying true to his purpose. Seneca warned against wasting time on things that don't serve us, reminding us that time is the one thing we can never get back. Epictetus taught that we should focus only on what we can control and let go of everything else. All of these great thinkers understood that life is short, and saying yes to the wrong things wastes precious time. Ask yourself, if today were your last day, would you regret how you spent it? If the answer is yes, it's time to start saying no. How to say no without feeling guilty. Now let's get practical. How do you say no without feeling guilty? Keep it short and simple. You don't owe long explanations. A simple, "I can't commit to that right now," is enough. Use the "I don't" rule. Instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I don't." Example, "I don't take last-minute requests." This makes it a firm boundary rather than a temporary excuse. Delay your response. If you feel pressured, say, "Let me think about it and get back to you." This gives you time to decide without guilt. Offer an alternative if you want to. "I can't help this weekend, but I'm happy to recommend someone who can." Practice in small situations. Start with little things. Say no to a small favor, to an unnecessary meeting, or to a phone call you don't feel like taking. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Saying no opens the door to a better life. Every great life is built on strong boundaries. Behind every success story, there is a person who learned to say no. Steve Jobs said no to thousands of ideas so he could focus on a few great ones. Warren Buffett says, "The difference between successful people and successful people is that successful people say no to almost everything." J.K. Rowling turned down many distractions to focus on writing, which led to the creation of Harry Potter. Your best life is waiting, but you can't get there if you're constantly weighed down by unnecessary commitments. The challenge: take action today. I want to challenge you right now. Think of one thing in your life that you need to say no to. Maybe it's a commitment, a habit, or even a toxic relationship. Then, say no to it. And once you do, come back and tell us in the comments. How did it feel? Was it easy? Hard? Did it bring you relief? Let's support each other in this journey. Saying no is not about pushing people away. It's about making space for the things that truly matter. Your time is valuable. Your energy is precious. Your life is yours. Protect it. Why do we struggle to say no? If saying no is so beneficial, why do so many of us find it difficult? The answer is simple. We're afraid. Afraid of disappointing people. Afraid of being judged or disliked. Afraid of missing out. Afraid of confrontation. But let's flip the question. What do we risk when we don't say no? We risk burnout from overcommitting. We risk resentment by doing things we don't want to do. We risk losing ourselves by always pleasing others. It's time to break free from these fears.
Saying no isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. The myth of being many of us are taught that saying no is rude. We believe that nice people should always be available, always willing, always accommodating. But think about it. The strongest, most respected people you know, do they say yes to everything? Of course not. They set boundaries. They guard their time. They prioritize what truly matters. And yet, they are still kind, still generous, still respected. Saying no doesn't make you mean. It makes you intentional. You can't be everything for everyone. The fastest way to disappoint everyone is by trying to please everyone. If you say yes to every request, you'll let your friends down because you're too busy. Let your family down because you're always exhausted. Let yourself down because you have no time for your goals. You have limited time and energy. Every yes must be a choice, not a habit. The no that saved my life. I once knew someone who said yes to everything. Extra work? Yes. Helping friends move? Yes. Attending every event? Yes. At first, they felt good about being reliable, but over time, they started feeling stressed, exhausted, and empty. One day, they finally said no. No extra work, no last-minute requests, no to things that didn't align with their goals. What happened? They were shocked. The world didn't end. Instead, they gained something priceless: freedom. From that day on, they built a life they wanted to live. Maybe you need to do the same. The 5 types of no. You need to master one. The quick no. Short, polite, and firm. I appreciate the offer, but I can't commit to that. Thanks for thinking of me, but I have to pass. 2. The delayed. No. Buys you time. Let me think about it and get back to you. I need to check my schedule first. 3. The boundary. No. Protects your limits. I don't take calls after work. I can't lend money, but I hope you find a solution. 4. The strategic no. Keeps doors open. Not right now, but maybe next time. I'd love to, but my plate is full. 5. The empowered. No. No guilt, no over-explaining. No, I'm not interested. No, that doesn't work for me. What happens when you start saying no? At first, it feels uncomfortable. Some people won't like it. Some will try to push back. That's normal. Then something amazing happens. You feel lighter, freer, and more in control. You have more time for what truly matters. People start respecting you more because they see you value yourself. And most importantly, you become the person you were meant to be. Your turn. Take the no challenge. I challenge you. Say no to something today. It doesn't have to be big. Just one thing. A request, an event, a favor you don't truly want to do. Then pay attention to how you feel. And when you do, share your experience in the comments. Was it hard? Did it feel good? Let's help each other grow. Saying no isn't about rejection. It's about choosing the life you deserve. Now, before I continue, I just want to take a moment to say this. If you're finding value in these insights, if you believe in the journey of growth, and if you want to be part of a community where we push each other to be better, then make sure to follow this channel. I'm on this journey too, working on myself just like you, and together we can build a mindset that changes everything. Also, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever struggled with saying no? What was the hardest situation where you had to stand your ground? Let's talk about it. All right, let's keep going. The life you create by saying no. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your goals, you say yes to something better. Think of your life like a garden. If you let every plant grow wildly, weeds will take over. But when you cut away what's unnecessary, the right plants thrive. Saying no is how you prune your life, making space for what truly matters. So ask yourself, what do I keep saying yes to that's draining me? What would my life look like if I only said yes to what truly mattered? Now imagine waking up every day knowing your time and energy are spent on things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and progress. That's the life that saying no creates. Why we feel guilty, saying no, and how to overcome it. Guilt is one of the biggest obstacles to saying no. You might think, they'll be upset with me. I don't want to seem selfish. What if they stop liking me? But here's the truth. Guilt is a feeling, not a fact. Saying no doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you value yourself, and the people who truly respect you will understand. How to break free from guilt. Reframe your thinking. Instead of "I'm letting them down," think "I'm honoring my priorities." Practice short, confident responses. The less you explain, the stronger you sound. Remind yourself, every time I say yes to something I don't want, I say no to myself.
Still feeling guilty? Share your thoughts in the comments. You're not alone. We all struggle with this. The silent power of saying no. Saying no isn't always about words. Sometimes it's about not answering a message immediately, not over-explaining yourself, not feeling the need to justify your choices. Powerful people don't beg to be understood. They know their worth, and they act accordingly. So next time you're tempted to over-apologize for saying no, pause and remind yourself, no is a complete sentence. A 30-day no challenge. Want to master the art of saying no? Try this. Week 1, say no to one small request. Week 2, set a firm boundary with someone. Week 3, say no to something bigger, an event, a favor, an extra workload. Week 4, reflect on your progress. How has your confidence grown? Let me know in the comments. What's the hardest thing for you to say no to? No is your superpower. Most people drift through life saying yes to everything and wondering why they feel exhausted, but not you. From this moment forward, you have a new power, a power that protects your energy, shapes your future, and earns you deep respect. That power is one word, no. Now go use it. And remember, share your experience in the comments. Let's grow together. I see you. You are kind, hardworking, and always willing to help. But I also see the exhaustion in your eyes, the frustration of giving so much to others while your own needs go unmet. It's time to change that. Today, I want to teach you something that took me 50 years of experience to fully understand. Saying no is not just a skill, it's a superpower. And if you master it, your life will never be the same. What happens when you start saying no? Here's what will change the moment you embrace this power. People will respect you more. Instead of being always available, you become someone whose time is valuable. You will feel lighter and happier. No more drowning in commitments you never wanted in the first place. Your yes will finally mean something. When you say yes, it will be with full heart and intention, not guilt or obligation. Sounds good, doesn't it? But I know what you're thinking. But won't people get mad? Yes, some will, but only the ones who were benefiting from your inability to say no. And let me tell you a hard truth. If someone gets angry because you set a boundary, it means they were never truly respecting you in the first place. But the right people, the ones who genuinely care about you, they will understand. They will respect you more because you respect yourself. How to say no without feeling bad? Saying no doesn't have to be rude. Here are 3 simple ways to do it. The firm but kind. I appreciate you asking, but I can't commit to that right now. The delayed no, perfect for when you feel pressured. Let me think about it and get back to you. Spoiler. Most of the time, they'll find someone else before you even have to say no. The no with an alternative if you still want to help in a small way. I can't do that, but I can help in this smaller way instead. Which one do you think will work best for you? Let me know in the comments. The secret. No is a gift. Most people think saying no pushes others away, but the opposite is true. When you say no to what drains you, you show up fully for the people and commitments that truly matter. Imagine a friend who always says yes, but is constantly exhausted, bitter, and overwhelmed. Would you rather have that friend, or a friend who knows their limits, protects their energy, and shows up with full presence and enthusiasm? Be that second person, and watch how your relationships improve, not suffer. Your challenge. One powerful this week. This week, I want you to do something life-changing. Find one situation where you normally would say yes out of guilt. Say no instead. Watch what happens. Then come back here and tell me in the comments, how did it feel? What was the reaction? I promise you, this small step will unlock something inside you that you never knew you had. And once you start, there's no going back. Your time is valuable. Your energy is precious. Protect them with strength. You deserve this life. A life where you are not a doormat. A life where you choose your happiness first. A life where your yes means yes and your no means no. This is your journey, and I'd love to walk it with you. Let's talk in the comments. What's the hardest part of saying no for you? Another powerful thing about saying no is that it creates space in your life. Space for what? For the things that truly matter. Imagine a garden. If you never pull out the weeds, they take over, choking the plants that could actually bear fruit. The same applies to your time, your relationships, and your energy. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, you allow a weed to grow in your garden. Now, some people fear that saying no will make them lose friends or opportunities.
But let me ask you, if someone only values you when you say yes to them, is that person really a friend? Think about that. True relationships, whether in friendship, business, or love, are built on mutual respect, not on one person constantly giving while the other takes. A great rule of thumb: every yes must be a hell yes. If you're not excited about it, if it doesn't serve your goals, if it doesn't align with your values, then it's a no. And that's okay. The people who truly respect you will understand. The ones who don't? Well, maybe they were in your life for the wrong reasons anyway. Now, I'd love to hear from you. When was the last time you said no to something? And how did it change your life? Drop your answer in the comments below. So here's the truth. Saying no isn't just about refusing things. It's about choosing yourself. Every time you say no to distractions, to toxic people, to meaningless commitments, you're saying yes to your growth, your peace, and your purpose. And that's what we're here for. To grow, to evolve, to become the best versions of ourselves. So I challenge you, starting today, to take control of your life. The next time something doesn't sit right with you, don't hesitate. Stand tall. Speak up. Say no with confidence. Protect your time. Protect your energy. Protect your future. Because the world doesn't respect people who bend to everything. It respects those who stand for something. And you're becoming one of those people. Now, if this message fired you up, hit that follow button and join me on this journey. I'm working on myself too. And together, we're going to build an unstoppable mindset. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what's one thing you need to start saying no to today? Let's talk. Let's grow. Let's win. Stay strong. Stay focused. And as always, keep evolving. Let's go.